I have a confession. The most recent Five Nights at Freddy's Secret of the Mimic game was really not great. It was just bad. So I recently played all of it, and for a $40 experience, it just really wasn't great. Now, this is my perspective. I have never played Five Nights at Freddy's, so I thought, hey, I'll give it a try. And, as an outsider perspective, I'll see what the games are like. But right off the bat, I was actually pretty surprised at how it was really not a polished experience. It had more of like, this is a $5 or $10 game. When I was scrolling through the credits at the end of the game, I was pretty surprised to see that a lot of people worked on this game, and it just really wasn't great. It had like a lot of like repetitive gameplay tropes. So premise of the game was, you're an overworked employee, and they're gonna give you like a $25 bonus to go into this facility and get some sort of data that they need. And the huge twist isn't really a twist. It's pretty clear to see what's going on, so that the twist wasn't really much of a twist. And you go into the facility, and then you find out, there's an entity that has been taken over the animatronic suits, and you pretty much just go here. You have to upgrade your data driver because you need to like step by step go through the procedures to get like admin access to get this data, the schematics, so just a little tropey. This is like kind of like an artifact type of game. You need an artifact or a schematic. So you get the next level of access, right? And I kid you not, you literally just crouch, slowly move around, and you wait for the animatronic to sort of do its program, boop, bop, beep, beep, and that's pretty much it. You get your higher level access, and then you go back to the security station, and then here and there, in between all of that, you get a little bit of lore. And I think I was like 3 hours into gameplay, and it was the first time I had actually gotten like spooked by a jump scare. Another thing is like, it's great if this game was meant for VR. That's fantastic. But the entire game, it was like a lever type game. It's a new type of game. Everything, it was cool. It's like, you got to start up the generator, and you gotta go like that with your mouse, and you gotta rotate the mouse. You gotta go like that, and you gotta these levers. I'll go up, go down. It was all great and everything, but it lost the. It was a gimmick, and it lost its luster after about like 10 times. It just became like very, very repetitive at the point where like some things, it's just you go into a room. Oh, what's my next objective? I gotta look for the lever. I gotta look for the crank. And there was one moment in the game where a crank is like on a desk behind me, and then I have to put it right here. And at that point, it's not a puzzle. Just have the crank attached to where it's supposed to be cranked. Everything was trying so hard to be a puzzle that it just became so tedious. Everything just became very, very tedious. I would say if this was a 30 to 60 minute game, I think it would have been really, really fun. But after about 45 minutes of this, you get so tired of it. And I know what you're gonna say. Like, you're taking it too seriously. And it's Five Nights at Freddy's. While I don't know anything about the games, I know it has a reputation. I'm not trying to take it too seriously. I'm not gonna take it seriously. It's a $40 game. And this was like $5, $10 level quality. Even a section like this, it just was drawn out for way too long. So many things, you're just like, all right, just let me be done with it. Then what ends up happening is that you get so frustrated and you keep on slipping up. This is another example of a puzzle that just was taken way too far. In order to do your security upgrade, you have to do this like little puzzle game thing. And it's fine. Having a game with some puzzles in it is great. If you played the original Resident Evil games, it's like, okay, there's a puzzle here, there's a puzzle there, especially when it means you have to progress through the game. But when everything is a puzzle, it ends up being pretty darn annoying. Some other things to note here with the gameplay that were just downright annoying is that it was riddled with glitches, and that's what I mean by it just wasn't polished. You have a crank in your hand, and then you drop it on the ground, and it just disappears, and then you have to remember, where did I even get that crank? And it just respawns there. For a $40 game, I mean, we're kind of shy from $20, but for a $40 game, something like Elden Ring, Night Rain, that's a $40 game, and that one is quite polished, although it does need some rebalancing. because the bell-bearing hunter is that thing needs some serious rebalancing. Point being is that this game was just goofy, riddled with glitches, and then we're not even getting to the fact that there are three endings. There's a bad ending, there's a true ending, and then there's a secret ending. Now, the bad ending is fine. It's already quite a bit of work just to get the bad ending. And there's some other things I want to talk about, but you get the bad ending, no big deal. You can go back, and it's nice that you could just resume the game, and then you can do the true ending. And, that wasn't that bad. There was some tedium to it. Just tedium for the sake of tedium. And then you have the secret ending, which I'm not even going to attempt to do, because there's like this game on the computer. And let me see actually if I could find it here. Oh yeah, here we go. It's moon.exe. So you have to get all the collectibles, put them into the machine, and then you have to go through whatever sort of tedious nonsense in this computer program that is unbearably slow. And in order to get all the collectibles, I kid you not, it's just sneak past the animatronic. You have to pick up the collectible, and you have to crank every single time. You have to crank open a present. You get your collectible, bring it back. You have to backtrack, and then you have to find a way. How does it interact? Blah blah blah. And I guess later when you do the true ending, there's going to be some sort of cat doll, and then you're able to get the true ending. But dear Lord, it just sounds like so much tedious nonsense work. It just not worth it. I guess for diehard fans, maybe they'll find it a fun time. But me personally, it just wasn't really scary. It was just tedious. In order to get a true ending or a secret ending, you have to play the game exactly how it wants you to be. The animatronic is going beep boop bop bop, and you just have to wait for it. A lot of it was just sitting and just waiting for the animatronic to go over there, so that way you could just blast through it. And if you're impatient and getting frustrated like I was, then you just keep on dying and dying over and over and over, and then it's just not scary anymore. There's no more after it's glitchy and goofy, and I've got jump scared. Every single death is a jump scare. So when every single time you get caught and die, it's a jump scare, it just sort of loses its luster. There are a few more things that I want to talk about. This stupid section with like the clown with the claws that are grabbing you, that was just an infuriating section. You have to like go from booth to booth, and if you don't, then you just get grabbed. And that was definitely, this was an hour into the gameplay, and it just made jump scares not scary anymore. It was honestly just a really frustrating experience. And on top of that, there are a few more other things that I want to talk about. This section, you have these like crane things, and you got to pull the platform, and it just was so unbearably slow. And as if this section wasn't enough to just be, I swear this was for the sake of just like a time filler, so you feel like you got your money's worth. On top of this section where you're in the suit, and then you got like the pirate play, you're just spending like an hour shooting things, and it was just really boring and just stupid. There was just no point to it. It wasn't fun at all. And you can see the game is glitched. I have like a piece of film just floating in front of me, and I couldn't figure out why. It was just very buggy and just stupid. It wasn't fun at all. It was just a nuisance. The game was just a nuisance. And dear Lord, don't even get me started with this elevator sequence. At one point in the game, there is an elevator sequence where you have to do everything exactly as the game says. And, I was getting impatient. I was getting frustrated. So what ends up happening is that if you do one thing, just one thing wrong, the entire elevator crashes, you die, and then you have to listen to this voice sequence. It's like a minute and a half cutscene every single time. So I ended up making a few mistakes, and I had to listen to that cutscene over and over and over. And then later in the game, in the true ending, the same thing happened. You have to get a code after listening to the film. I didn't know that in order to progress. So I'm watching the film. It's like, oh, there's some lore here. This is great. And then I kid you not, a minute-long film, I have to, at the end of the film, is where the number is. So 5, and then you watch another film, 3. You have to watch it in sequence. It's not like I shouldn't have to have a notepad in front of me taking notes as I'm playing the game. That's not fun. So I find out, there's a code at the end of the film. So I have to rewatch all the film. And I swear, a lot of this was made to be tedious, just to be time filler, so that you couldn't get a refund on the game. I swear. So this section is the last thing I'm going to talk about. It was so unbelievably ridiculous. If you could see the speed at this crane, I get it. There's, cranes are only so fast, but this section was was just so irritating. It was so frustrating. You could see the look on my face. I mean, I just was really, really tired at this point. This was 3 hours into the game, and by this point, I just wanted to be done with it. It just wasn't fun at all. Now, my point in bringing all this up is I'm new to the Five Nights at Freddy's games. I know. Don't take it too seriously. I think the story and the lore is great. I think it's a really cool universe, and I hope they continue making games, and I'm certainly going to try the first one and see what it's like. Maybe my expectations were too high, but to charge $40 for this game, I think is a crime. It just wasn't a good game. It was worth $5-10, and it should have been 30 to 60 minutes. So yeah, I thought I was going to have a good time, and you know, if you want to see the full video, it's posted on my channel. I spent like 4 hours playing the game. I'm never going to get those hours back. Generally, it wasn't horrible. It just wasn't good. And I just needed to rant about it. That's it.